Good morning, everyone, and welcome. I'm delighted to have you here today. We will be exploring the basic principles of GMP, which is essential for ensuring quality and consistency in our pharmaceutical and manufacturing processes. The presentation is titled Basic Principles of GMP, and we will cover topics like contract production, analysis, and other key activities involved in good manufacturing practices. Over the next few slides, I'll walk you through the fundamental concepts that underpin GMP compliance, so you'll gain a clear understanding of how these principles are applied in real-world scenarios. Let's get started. Let's talk about the principle behind contract production, analysis, and other outsourced activities. It's crucial that these activities are clearly defined, agreed upon, and tightly controlled. This means that everyone involved should understand their roles and responsibilities from the start. To prevent misunderstandings, it's best to have everything in writing, so there's a clear record of what's expected. Additionally, it's important that all work is performed in accordance with good manufacturing practice, or GMP, and aligns with the marketing authorization. This helps ensure the quality and compliance of the product throughout the process. We also need to clearly define the duties and responsibilities of all parties involved. This includes addressing the process of batch release, which involves the authorized person, and the issuance of the certificate of analysis. By following these principles, we maintain strict control over outsourced activities, ensuring product quality and compliance at every step. Let's discuss the responsibilities of the contract giver, starting with the importance of having a PQS in place. This is crucial because it allows us to control and review all outsourced activities effectively. It's essential to assess each activity's legality, suitability, and competence before moving forward. Next, we need to ensure that all activities comply with GMP and QRM principles. These are fundamental to maintaining quality and risk management standards throughout the process. Approving contracted activities is another key responsibility. This approval process ensures that what's being outsourced meets our quality expectations and regulatory requirements. Monitoring and reviewing performance is equally important. This isn't just about oversight. It's about continuously evaluating the effectiveness of the outsourced activities and identifying opportunities for improvement. Additionally, the contract giver must ensure that everyone involved understands the inspection processes conducted by regulators. This helps us stay prepared and transparent during inspections. Finally, when it comes to contract production, analysis, and other related activities, it's vital to oversee these functions carefully. Overall, these responsibilities help us maintain control, ensure compliance, and uphold quality standards across all outsourced operations. Now, let's talk about the responsibilities of the contract giver, specifically the second part. It's crucial that we provide all the necessary information to the contract acceptor. This ensures that the operations are carried out correctly, in full compliance with the manufacturing authorization and any other legal requirements we must follow. It's also vital that we're fully aware of any hazards associated with the product, the work involved, or the tests being conducted. These hazards could pose risks to the premises, to equipment, to personnel, or even to other materials and products. Being aware of these risks allows us to implement the right precautions and ensure safety throughout the process. Another key responsibility is to make sure that any materials and products supplied by the contract acceptor meet the agreed-upon specifications. This helps us maintain quality and compliance at every stage. Additionally, it's important to remember that products should only be released by an authorized person. This adds an extra layer of oversight and ensures that only approved products reach the next phase or the market. Finally, the contract giver is responsible for overseeing contract production, analysis, and other related activities. This oversight helps maintain the integrity of the process and guarantees that everything aligns with regulatory standards and our quality expectations. In summary, these responsibilities are all about clear communication, safety, compliance, and quality control. key themes that support the overall goal of a well-managed outsourcing process. Let's talk about the responsibilities of the contract acceptor, starting with the essential requirement of having a manufacturing authorization. This authorization is fundamental because it confirms that the entity is officially approved to produce pharmaceutical products. Without it, they wouldn't be legally permitted to operate. Next, the contract acceptor must have adequate premises, equipment, knowledge, and experience. This means their facilities need to be suitable and well-maintained to ensure quality and compliance. They also need to have the right tools and expertise to perform their tasks correctly. Equally important are the competent personnel. Having skilled and trained staff is crucial because they're the ones executing the manufacturing, analysis, and other activities. Their competence directly impacts the quality and safety of the products. Finally, the contract acceptor is responsible for conducting contract production, analysis, and other related activities. This encompasses all the operations necessary to produce and test the products, ensuring they meet the required standards. All these points tie back to the overall theme of ensuring quality, compliance, and accountability in pharmaceutical manufacturing. Each responsibility helps safeguard the integrity of the process and, ultimately, patient safety. Let's now look at some additional responsibilities of the contract acceptor. First, no subcontracting to a third party should take place without prior approval. This is crucial because the contract giver needs to be able to conduct audits to ensure that any third party involved is competent and trustworthy. Having that oversight helps maintain quality and compliance throughout the process. Secondly, all the required information must be provided to the third party. This ensures transparency and that everyone has the necessary data to perform their roles effectively. Another key point is that there should be no conflicting activities or practices that could adversely affect the product or its quality. It's important to avoid any actions that might compromise the integrity of the work or the final output. Finally, this includes responsibilities related to contract production, analysis, and other activities. All these elements are interconnected and vital to maintaining control, quality, and compliance throughout the entire process. These responsibilities are essential because they support the overall theme of ensuring reliable, high-quality outcomes in our contractual agreements. Now, let's take a closer look at the contract, which is a fundamental element in our quality and compliance framework. This written agreement clearly defines the responsibilities of each party involved, ensuring everyone understands their roles. It also covers the technical aspects, including activities, products, operations, and communication processes. It's important to note that the contract should be prepared by competent persons who have solid knowledge in pharmaceutical technology, analysis, and GMP, good manufacturing practice. This helps guarantee that all technical and regulatory requirements are properly addressed from the outset. One of the key points is ensuring compliance with the marketing authorization. This means that everything from production to analysis must align with the approved specifications and regulatory approvals. The contract should also specify responsibilities related to batch release, which involves releasing the product after thorough review. Remember, the Certificate of Analysis, or COA, must be issued by an authorized person. This certification confirms that the product complies with the marketing authorization and quality standards. Furthermore, the contract must outline the flow of data and information necessary for ongoing product quality review. This ensures transparency and traceability throughout the process. Lastly, the contract covers activities like production, analysis, and other related tasks, making sure all aspects are clearly documented and agreed upon. This structured approach helps maintain high quality, compliance, and effective communication across all stages of the product lifecycle. Now, let's take a closer look at some of the key aspects involved in the contract phase. First, we have batch release and the issuing of the Certificate of Analysis, or COA. This step is crucial because it ensures each batch meets the required quality standards before it moves forward. Next, knowledge management plays a vital role here. It's about capturing and sharing critical information to maintain consistency and improve processes across the board. Technology transfer is also a key element, especially when moving from development to manufacturing. Ensuring this transfer is smooth helps prevent delays and quality issues. The supply chain aspect can't be overlooked, as it involves coordinating the procurement and logistics needed to keep production on track. Subcontracting may also come into play, where certain activities are outsourced to specialized partners to optimize efficiency. Testing and release of material are ongoing processes that verify raw materials or intermediates meet specifications before they enter production. During production, quality control and in-process control are continuously monitored to maintain high standards throughout manufacturing. Finally, contract production, analysis, and other related activities encompass the broader scope of external collaborations that support the entire process, ensuring that every step aligns with regulatory and quality requirements. All these elements are interconnected and essential to ensuring a successful contract manufacturing process, reinforcing the overall theme of quality and compliance. Now, let's look at how the contract addresses rejected materials or products. Starting with the different stages, we have starting materials, intermediate and bulk products, and finished products. Each of these stages has specific protocols in place for handling situations where a product doesn't meet quality standards. If, during contract analysis, we find that a tested product must be rejected, there are clear procedures to follow. This can involve quarantine, investigation, and determining the cause of rejection. The contract also covers activities related to production and analysis, ensuring that everything is documented and managed properly. This helps us maintain quality control throughout the entire process and ensures that any rejected products are handled systematically, minimizing risk and maintaining compliance. Overall, the contract is designed to provide a comprehensive framework for managing rejected materials at every stage, supporting quality assurance and regulatory compliance while aligning with our broader quality management goals. Now, when we talk about the contract, it's essential that the contract giver keeps or has access to certain key documentation. This includes reference standards and retention samples, which are crucial for verifying product quality over time. Additionally, they should maintain comprehensive records of manufacturing processes, analyses performed, and distribution activities. In cases where recalls, complaints, or suspected defects arise, having all relevant records readily available is vital. These should be detailed and documented clearly in the Standard Operating Procedures, or SOPs. This applies to all contract production, analysis, and other related activities. Overall, these record-keeping practices are fundamental for traceability, accountability, and swift action when issues occur. They ensure that everyone involved has the necessary information to address problems efficiently and maintain product integrity throughout the supply chain. Let's take a closer look at the responsibilities outlined in the contract. First, who is responsible for material purchasing, testing, and releasing? Typically, this falls on the supplier or the designated contract manufacturer. They must ensure that all materials meet the agreed-upon specifications before moving forward. Next, regarding production and quality control, including in-process quality control, or IPQC, it's essential to understand that these activities are also assigned to the contractor. They need to monitor the process continuously and ensure quality at every stage. When it comes to sampling and analysis, the contract should specify who takes the samples. Often it's the supplier or a designated quality inspector. It's important to clarify where the samples are taken from, either from bulk lots, final products, or specific production stages. In cases where a tested product must be rejected, the procedure should be clearly described. Usually, this involves isolating the rejected batch, documenting the reasons, and following agreed-upon steps for disposal or reprocessing. Finally, the contract covers activities related to production, analysis, and other responsibilities. All these elements are interconnected and vital for maintaining quality and compliance throughout the process. Understanding these responsibilities helps ensure smooth collaboration and clear accountability across all stages. Let's talk about some of the possible issues we might face. First, owners can sometimes insist on using facilities that aren't suitable for the specific needs of the project. This can lead to inefficiencies or quality concerns. Additionally, owners might prefer using relatives' facilities, which could introduce conflicts of interest or lack the necessary capabilities. Another challenge is the limited time available to validate new facilities. Rushing this process can compromise quality and compliance. We also see situations where the contract acceptor takes on new products that aren't appropriate for their current operations, which can cause risks or delays. Finally, activities like contract production, analysis, and other related tasks can pose issues if they're not properly managed or aligned with the overall project objectives. All these points highlight the importance of clear communication, proper planning, and thorough validation to avoid these pitfalls and keep the project on track. Let's talk about some potential issues that can arise during our contract activities. First, there might be cases where the contract acceptor does not have all the specified equipment needed for the job. This can lead to delays or even compromise the quality of the work. It's crucial that the acceptor has everything on the list before starting. Next, using incorrect equipment is another common issue. Even if they have the right tools, using the wrong ones can cause procedural errors or damage. Ensuring they use the correct equipment as specified is vital for maintaining standards. Another point to watch out for is when the contract acceptor does not follow the agreed procedures. Procedures are in place for safety, quality, and consistency, so deviations can lead to serious problems, including noncompliance or safety hazards. Finally, issues can also occur in contract production, analysis, and other activities if these steps are not executed properly. This might involve incomplete analysis, incorrect data handling, or deviations from the agreed scope, which can all impact the overall project success. Overall, being aware of these potential issues helps us stay proactive and ensures that our contract activities run smoothly, maintaining both safety and quality throughout the process. Let's discuss some possible issues that can arise in our processes. One key point is when the contract acceptor uses an alternative material supplier. This can introduce variability or quality concerns, especially if the supplier hasn't been thoroughly vetted or if their materials don't meet our standard specifications. Another issue is when the contract acceptor is working with out-of-date specifications. This can lead to mismatches in material quality or performance, which might compromise the integrity of the final product. Keeping specifications current and clear is essential. We also need to be aware of challenges related to contract production, analysis, and other activities. These areas are critical for ensuring quality control and compliance, so any discrepancies or lapses here can have significant repercussions. Overall, these issues highlight the importance of strict supplier management, up-to-date documentation, and rigorous oversight in all phases of our contract work. Addressing these proactively helps maintain the quality and reliability we aim for in our projects. For further support, please feel free to contact us. We're here to help with any questions or additional information you might need. Thank you so much for your time and attention today. Remember, we're committed to supporting you every step of the way.